Amen.
So we have time now for Yizkor, when it's traditional for anyone who is remembering a loved one, maybe someone who passed recently, maybe someone who has been gone from this earth for a long time, to stay here, to witness each other's prayers, and to share the memory of the person that you're thinking of. Some people have the custom to leave at this time, and if their parents are still alive, and if that's your custom, we encourage you to step out. But if you're wondering, what do I do now? I encourage you to stay and share space and hold space for the people in our community who are mourning and who are holding their hearts close right now. So we'll begin Yizkor in just a few moments. Whose page is it on? 249. Let's sing that nigun. Let's sing that nigun. Yeah. Yeah. You can all sit. Turn to page 249. Adonai madam v'tida'ehu ben enosh v'tachashvehu.
Adonai, what are we that you are mindful of us? Of what importance are we in your universe?
Adam lahavadama yamav katzel uver.
We exist for just an instant. Our days are like a fleeting shadow.
V'tachasrehu me'at me'elohim v'kevod hadar ta'atrehu.
In the morning we blossom and flourish. In the evening we wither and are cut down. And on the other hand,
you have made us only a little less than divine and have crowned us with glory and beauty.
Limnot yameinu ken hoda v'navi levav chokhmah.
Teach us to treasure each day that we may attain a heart of wisdom.
I want to share a letter, an anonymous letter that was written to an advice columnist known as Dear Sugar between 2010 and 2011. I saw this letter performed a few weeks ago as part of the play Tiny Beautiful Things, with a cast of anonymous actors sharing the letters of grief and sorrow that were written to this columnist, and an audience of anonymous theater goers who just saw something deep in the humanity of each letter. Even though I didn't go through the exact experience that this person who wrote this letter went through, there's something essentially human that I can connect with. And I think that for those of us here today who have experienced deep and painful loss, whether it's still very raw and fresh or whether it happened decades ago, we're able to be opened up by hearing the story of someone else's grief. And so before we take the time to go into our own memories, I want to share this letter with you. Dear Sugar, 1, it's taken me many weeks to compose this letter, and even still, I can't do it right. The only way I can get it out is to make a list instead of write a letter. This is a hard subject, and a list helps me to contain it. You may change it here to a regular letter if you wish to, should you choose to publish it. 2, I don't have a definite question for you. I'm a sad, angry man whose son died. I want him back. That's all I ask for, and it's not a question. 3, I will start over from the beginning. I'm a 58-year-old man. Nearly 4 years ago, a drunk driver killed my son. The man was so inebriated he drove through a red light and hit my son at full speed. The dear boy I love more than life itself was dead before the paramedics even got to him. He was 22, my only child. 4, I'm a father while not being a father. Most days it feels like my grief is going to kill me, or maybe it already has. I'm a living, dead dad. 5, I have good friends who are supportive of me. My brother and sister-in-law and 2 nieces are a loving and attentive family to me, and even my ex-wife and I have become close friends again since our son's death. We'd been cold to one another since our divorce when our son was 15. 6, in addition, I have a rewarding job, good health, and a girlfriend whom I love and respect. 7, in short, I'm going on with things in a way that makes it appear like I'm adjusting to life without my son, but the fact is I'm living a private hell. Sometimes the pain is so great, I simply lie in my bed and wail. 8, I can't stop thinking about my son, about the things he would be doing now if he were alive, and also the things I did with him when he was young, my good memories of him, my wish to go back in time and either relive happy memories or alter those that are less happy. 9, one thing I would change is when, at 17, my son informed me that he was gay. I didn't quite believe him or understand, so I inquired in a negative tone, but how can you not like girls? I quickly came to embrace him for who he was, but I regret my initial reaction to his homosexuality, and I never apologized to him for it. I believed he knew I loved him. I believed he knew I wanted him to be happy, no matter what path his happiness might take. But Sugar, for this and other things, I am tormented anyway. 10, I hate the man who killed my son. For his crime, he was incarcerated 18 months, then released. He wrote me a letter of apology, but I ripped it into pieces and threw it in the garbage after barely scanning it. 11, my son's former boyfriend has stayed in touch with my ex-wife and me, and we care for him a great deal. Recently, he invited us to a party where he informed us we would meet his new boyfriend, his first serious one since our son. We both lied and said we had other engagements, but the real reason we declined is that neither one of us could bear meeting his new partner. 12, I fear you will choose not to answer my letter because you haven't lost a child. 13, I fear if you choose to answer my letter, people will make critical comments about you at the end of your column, saying you don't have the right to speak to this matter because you have not lost a child. 14, I pray you will never lose a child. 15, I will understand if you choose not to answer my letter. Most people, kind as they are, don't know what to say to me, so why should you? I certainly didn't know what to say to people such as me before my son died, so I don't blame others for their discomfort. 16. I'm writing to you because the way you've written about your grief over your mother dying so young has been meaningful to me. I even printed out one of your columns and read it to my psychologist because it had such an impact on me. I'm convinced that if anyone can shed light into my dark hell, it will be you. 17. What can you say to me? 18. How do I go on? 19. How do I become human again? Signed, Living Dead Dad. Dear Living Dead Dad, 1. I don't know how you go on without your son, Sweet Pea. I only know that you do, and you have, and you will. 2. Your shattering sorrow light of a letter is proof of that. 3. You don't need me to tell you how to be human again. You are there in all of your humanity, shining unimpeachably before every person reading these words right now. 4. I am so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry for your loss. 5. You could stitch together a quilt with all of the times that has been and will be said to you. You could make a river of consolation words, but they won't bring your son back. They won't keep that man from getting into his car and careening through that red light at the precise moment your son was in his path. 6. You'll never get that. 7. I hope you remember that when you peel back the rage and you peel back the idle thoughts of suicide and you peel back all the things you imagined your son would be what wasn't, and you peel back the man who got into the car and drove when he shouldn't have, and you peel back the man who your son loved now loves, and you peel back all the good times you had, and you peel back all the things you wish you'd done differently, at the center of that there is your pure father love that is stronger than anything. 8. No one can touch that love or alter it or take it away from you. Your love for your son belongs only to you. It will live in you until the day you die. 9. Small things such as this have saved me. How much I love my mother, even after all these years. How powerfully I carry her with me. My grief is tremendous, but my love is bigger. So is yours. You are not grieving your son's death because his death was ugly and unfair. You're grieving it because you loved him truly. The beauty in that is greater than the bitterness of his death. 10. Allowing such small things into your consciousness will not keep you from your suffering, but it will help you survive the next day. 11. I keep imagining you lying on your bed and wailing. I keep thinking that hard as it is to do, it's time for you to go silent and lift your head from the bed and listen to what's there in the wake of your wail. 12. It's your life, the one you must make in the obliterated place that's now your world, where everything you used to be is simultaneously erased and omnipresent, where you are forevermore a living, dead dad. 13. Your boy is dead, but he will continue to live within you. Your love and grief will be unending, but it will also shift in shape. There are things about your son's life and your own that you can't understand now. There are things you will understand in 1 year, and in 10 years, and 20. 14. You have the power to withstand this sorrow. We all do, though we all claim not to. We say, I couldn't go on, instead of saying, we hope we won't have to. That's what you're saying in your letter to me, Living Dead Dad. You've made it so long without your sweet boy, and now you can't take it anymore. But you can. You must. 15. More will be revealed. Your son hasn't yet taught you everything he has to teach you. He taught you how to love like you've never loved before. He taught you how to suffer like you've never suffered before. Perhaps the next thing he has to teach you is acceptance. And the thing after that, forgiveness. 16. Forgiveness bellows from the bottom of the canoe. There are doubts, dangers, unfathomable travesties. There are stories you'll learn if you're strong enough to travel there. One of them might cure you. 17. When my son was 6, he said, "We don't know how many years we have for our lives. People die at all ages." He said it without anguish or remorse, without fear or desire. It has been healing to me to accept in a very simple way that my mother's life was 45 years long, that there was nothing beyond that. There was only my expectation that there would be. My mother at 89, my mother at 63, my mother at 46. Those things don't exist. They never did. 18. Think, my son's life was 22 years long. Breathe in. Think, my son's life was 22 years long. Breathe out. 19. You go on by doing the best you can. You go on by being generous. You go on by being true. You go on by offering comfort to others who can't go on. You go on by allowing the unbearable days to pass and allowing the pleasure in other days. You go on by finding a channel for your love and another for your rage. 20. Letting go of expectation when it comes to one's children is close to impossible. The entire premise of our love for them has to do with creating and fostering and nurturing people who outlive us. To us, they are not so much who they are as who they will become. 21. The kindest and most meaningful thing anyone ever says to me is, "Your mother would be proud of you." Finding a way in my grief to become the woman who my mother raised me to be is the most important way I have honored my mother. It has been the greatest salve to my sorrow. The strange and painful truth is that I'm a better person because I lost my mom young. When you say you experience my writing as sacred, what you are touching is the divine place within me that is my mother. Sugar is the temple I built in my obliterated place. I'd give it all back in a snap, but the fact is, my grief taught me things. It showed me shades and hues I couldn't have otherwise seen. It required me to suffer. It compelled me to reach. 22. Your grief has taught you too, Dad, living dead dad. Your son was your greatest gift in his life, and he is your greatest gift in his death too. Receive it. Let your dead boy be your most profound revelation. Create something of him. 23. Make it beautiful. Yours, Sugar. We'll take some time now in the personal prayers on pages 250 to 251 to find prayers and words for whoever you're thinking about in this moment. We'll come back together in a few moments.
moment, we'll stand for El Malei Rachamim for everyone who we're remembering here on 251. There's a place in the midst of the prayer where we say, grant perfect rest beneath the wings of the Shekhinah to all those mentioned here today who have gone on to their eternal home, together with the souls of all of the holy and pure whose light shines brightly and eternally. And then in the Hebrew, there's an opportunity to just say the name or the names of the people you are here to remember. So I'll just pause. And say their names out loud. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamtzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, במעלות קדושים וטהרים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמות for the souls of כל אלה שהזכרנו היום שהלכו לעולמם בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם אדוני הוא נחלתם וינוחו בשלום על משכבם ונאמר amen. May their souls be bound up in the bonds of life. May they rest in peace and may their memory forever be a blessing. בגץ המוות לא ירא כי אתה עמדי שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני
תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי תשענת שמן ראשי כוסי רוויי
Revaya.
join together in Mourner's Kaddish on page 253. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei be'amlich machutei B'chaye echon u'vyom echon u'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi
Shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromach v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedusha
Brichu.
Le'ela le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushvachata v'nechamata damiran v'alma v'imru
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'momav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi zichronam livracha. May all of their memories be blessings.
So feel free to linger in here. We'll nigun a little bit. Rabbi Yechiel Pupko talks about this moment, this Yizkor, as a sort of sacred, tragic club. Which means that if you look around the room, probably everybody shares something, and you could actually say, who are you remembering today? As an icebreaker, and actually start a very deep, profound, meaningful conversation with someone and learn something about people in your community. And if you don't feel like talking, you can say, I don't feel like talking. But I invite you to connect in these sorts of ways over the rest of the day. Stay here if you like, although yoga will be starting in here in 5 minutes. FYI. La, la, la.